been really interested in the Manson murders and obviously very intrigued by Sharon Tate. I think it was super devastating for that time period.
So I knew about the Manson murders and I was familiar with them, but I didn't know that much. So I watched pretty much every documentary there was until I felt like I had a good grasp on what happened. And the more I watched, the more I realized how insanely horrible and vicious these murders were.
I've known about it for a really long time and done a lot of research, and it was crazy when I heard about this role because
it's a very big thing and it hits my memory strongly.
I feel like I've been hearing about it so much lately with him dying in jail and everything, and just I knew that they were lost souls,
but not like this. This is crazy. Like, they're freaky and wild and like
probably, I'm not going to say too well versed in the backstory, but very eager to play this character.
When I first read the script, I absolutely loved it. It's so well written, and I love that it's from the perspective of Sharon Tate and Jay Sebring before the murders happened, because so much of the coverage of this event is done from, the Charles Manson side. You don't see many different documentaries or many films where
the outcome, unfortunately, in reality is not different, but she has a chance to fight back and change things, and it was just interesting to me. I think this is such a great time for women to come in and kick ass. I really loved the angle of them getting to change their fate, and obviously, sadly, at the very end, you realize the reality, which is what the true story is. But through her dream sequences and through her
main group, and he's sort of outside in a way, and there's this, comedic and lightheartedness to him, but also just such a purity. And I think the purity with the juxtaposition of the darkness that actually happens is such a sort of a beautiful story to tell and to show. And I think doing that justice was very important to me and was sort of the allure to me to do it.
Very scary. So it's always nice to challenge yourself as an actor and do something that's a little uncomfortable for you to, kind of push you into an unknown territory and really fight for it. Actors, we thrive on that kind of thing. So this script has definitely presented its challenges and made me go to very uncomfortable places. And also, I feel like I relate to her. I feel like she was a girl from Texas, which I am. I feel like she had very traditional morals, which I do. I think she loved to have fun. I think she cared about the people that she cared about fiercely. And, I can tell her story and portray her not accurately. Obviously, I have to bring myself to the table, and this is a different version than the real one. But I think she was an amazing person, and just I want to do right by her.
So basically, it's about Sharon Tate coming home from vacation, and it's this thing, and sort of in a beautiful way, sort of forging a new.
I got this satisfaction from reading that they actually kill us instead, and I know that a lot of people that have followed the story will also receive that same satisfaction of thinking about what it would be like if the tables were turned, and I thought that was a really interesting concept.
Yeah, because most men had their hair cut with clippers, and Jay introduced the scissor technique to cutting men's hair back in the day and cut all the famous celebrities' hair. And I actually went to dinner with Lainey Kazan, who is an actress I worked with before, who actually went on a date with Jay Sebring 2 days before he died. And so she told me what he was like and kind of gave me an insight to the way he, his personality and his little idiosyncrasies, which was really helpful in creating this character. To know someone that knew him it's a little creepy, but it helped a lot. Place to go to, and it was a struggle to try to figure out what would Jay be thinking as he was watching Tex go after Sharon. What would he be thinking? And it really went to a dark spot. This was one of the biggest acting challenges I've ever had in my whole career.
I play Abigail Folger in the film, and I was drawn to her because she's a little bit of a mystery. If you do any Googling and sort of background research, it's actually quite difficult to find out all that much information about her. I know that she was from the East Coast, and she was heir to Folger's Coffee, and, she had a bright future ahead of her. She was an activist, she was very political, and, she actually had lectured at the junior high that my mother had gone to a few years before her murder. And
He was pretending to take the LSD,
Yeah.
but really he wasn't taking it. He was manipulating all of us.
For 15 years ago on Cheaper by the Dozen 2. And he was a lot of fun then, and he's a lot of fun now.
My good friend Hilary Duff and I, hi Hill, we worked back in the day on Cheaper by the Dozen 2, which is a very similar movie to this. Cheaper by the Dozen 2, big comedy, very similar to The Haunting of Sharon Tate. Not in the least. It's completely opposite. So being together on this set, it was good because we already had a relationship established before we came to set. So Hilary and I were able to tap into that and feel like we've known each other for years because we have.
I have not worked with any of them before. I'm familiar with all of them, and everyone was so incredible on this project. Everyone was so nice, so friendly, so professional. It was really, really an incredible experience, and it's amazing to be able to say that at the end of the day we could laugh and have fun together, especially in those dark moments when we really are being broken down and crying and having those moments on set that it all became so real. It was nice to be able to get lifted up at the end and know that you're with your friends.
It's a really positive group of people. It's always nice when you're dealing with such a heavy subject matter, with a lot of gore, with a lot of night shoots. It's been a great experience.
I had not worked with any of them before. Jonathan, I had known a little bit of his work, and of course Hilary Duff growing up. I had 3 older sisters growing up.
In this film, I'm terrorizing Hillary, and not but 6 months ago, I was terrorizing her older sister Haley. It seems like I have a unique job to terrorize the Duff family.
The other day we were shooting a scene where there was lots of fake blood involved, and we had nooses around our neck, and there's like knives to our throats, and sometimes it just gets really real. And obviously it's very helpful during shooting the scene, but there have been moments where I have to just walk outside and take a moment to gather my thoughts and pull myself out of the reality that happened